Madhava Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Paribraja Kacharya Ashtotarata Shishimad Abhay Charanarvindam Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Shil Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai ISKCON BBT Sangstabhakacharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Gaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Shri Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki Jai Ganga Maya Jamuna Maya Ki Jai Shrimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Shrimati Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Harinam Sankirtan Yagni Ki Jai Samveda Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Reading from Srimad Bhagavat Gita, chapter number 5, entitled Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. Text number 11. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Kayena Manasa Bhudya. Kayena Manasa Bhudya. Kevalar Indriyate Api. Kevalai Indriyairapi Yogina Karma Kurvanti Yogina Karma Kurvanti Sangam Twatmatma Shuddhayed Sangam Twatmatma Shuddhayed Kayena Manasa Bhudya Kevalar Indriyairapi Yogina Karma Kurvanti Sangam Tyaktvam Twatma Bhut Shuddhaya Kayena Manasa Bhudya Kavalar Indriyairapi Yogina Karma Kurvanti Sangam Twatma Shuddhaye. Kayena Manasa Bhudya Larindriyapi Yogina Karma Kurvanti Sangam Taktvatma Bhudhaye. Kayena Manasa Bhudya Kevala Indriyairapi Amaya Kara Kurvanti Manasa Bhudya Kevala Indriyairapi Yogina Karma Kurvanti Sangam Tyaktvatma Shuddhaye. yoginam karva kurvanti sangam tyaktvatma shuddhaye kayena manasa buddhya kevalaya indriyayarapi yogina karma kurvanti sangam tyaktvatma shuddhaye kayena with the body, manasa with the mind, buddhya with the intelligence, kevalai purified, indriyai with the senses, api even, yoginaha Krishna conscious persons, karma actions, kurvanti they perform, sangam attachment, taktva giving up, atma of the self, shuddhaye for the purpose of purification. The yogis, abandoning attachment, act with body, mind, intelligence, and even the senses, only for the purpose of purification. Purport: when one acts in Krishna consciousness for the satisfaction of the senses of Krishna, any action, whether of the body, mind, intelligence, or even the senses, is purified of material contamination. There are no material reactions resulting from the activities of a Krishna conscious person. Therefore, purified activities, which are generally called sadachar, can be easily performed by acting in Krishna consciousness. Srila Rupa Goswami, in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1-187, describes this as follows. Iha yasya harer dasye karmana manasa gira nikilasvapyavastasu jivan mukta sa uchite. A person acting in Krishna consciousness, or in other words, in the service of Krishna, with his body, mind, intelligence, and words, is a liberated person, even within the material world, although he may be engaged in many so-called material activities. He has no false ego, for he does not believe that he is this material body or that he possesses the material body. He knows that he is not the body, and the body does not belong to him. He himself belongs to Krishna, and the body too belongs to Krishna. When he applies everything produced of the body, mind, intelligence, words, life, wealth, etc., whatever he may have within his possession, to Krishna's service, he is at once dovetailed with Krishna. He is one with Krishna and is devoid of the false ego. That leads one to believe that he is the body. This is the perfect stage of Krishna consciousness. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Taraham Bande Shri Gurun Dinataranam Paramanandamadavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. So in this verse, Krishna is continuing to describe what a yogi or a Krishna conscious person is. In the previous verse, he describes a person that works without attachment, surrendering the results to the Supreme, is unaffected by sinful action, and is a lotus leaf untouched by the water. So this verse also, it continues to describe how that person in Krishna consciousness becomes free from the reactions of his activities. So, kayena manasa buddhya. Kayena means body, manasa, mind, buddhya. And kevalaya, indriyar api. That a person may act with his body, with his mind, and even with the senses. Yogina karma kurvanti. But because he's a yogina, he's performing activities, sangam taktvatma shuddhaye, without attachment. And he performs those activities for purification. So generally, the word here used, yogina, yogi. People think of a yogi as someone who's very, that has some siddhi, some power, right? Yogi. Like he can stand on one leg for many days or months, or one yogi stood on one leg for so many years also, right? And that he can perform some types of yoga exercises very expertly, right? Yogi. And in Shastra, it's also described how yogis have some siddhis, some powers. They can manifest something out of nothing, right? Prabhupada talks about a yogi when he was younger who told one person, "What do you want?" And he said, I want some pomegranates from Kabul. This was in Calcutta, right? So the yogi said, "Okay, go in that room and you'll find it." So he went in the room and there were pomegranates from Kabul, Afghanistan. So yogis, they have these siddhis. But here, in this verse, the yogi is described as the Krishna conscious person, right? Krishna conscious. Yoga means to be linked up with the Supreme. And the persons who are Krishna conscious, they're linked up with the Supreme, and this verse describes how. It's not that they're not using their body, their mind, or their intelligence. The Mayavadis, they try to make everything zero, right? To avoid the mind, avoid the body, deny the senses, right? But Krishna consciousness is not like that. Krishna consciousness means that one uses one's mind to fix on Krishna, uses one's intelligence to serve Krishna, uses one's words to describe Krishna, and use all the senses. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Maharaj Ambarish is described that he used his legs in walking to the temple. He used his arms in sweeping the temple. Okay? But first of all, he fixed his mind on the lotus feet of the Lord. Savai mana Krishna padara vindayo. First he fixed his mind. So fixing the mind, what that does is that it helps all the other senses to become engaged in the service of Krishna, to first fix the mind. And in this age, the best way to fix the mind on the lotus feet of the Lord, on Krishna, is how? Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam. Kalo nasteva, nasteva, nasteva gatiranyata. By the holy name, and 3 times. Only kevala, kevala, kevala. This is the way in this age, to fix the mind on Krishna. It's the best way to think of Krishna. We work actually not so much with our bodies, we actually work with our minds. Right? First of all, you think to do something. And when you think to do it, right? Thinking, feeling, willing, then the body automatically carries out that activity. So where does it all start? It starts with the mind. Right? One doesn't just find himself in a bar. He thinks about it first. I'll go to the bar, right? Oh, wait, do I have money? Do I have my credit card to spend money in the bar? So there's a whole thought process. And by that thinking, feeling, and willing, then he finds himself in the bar. Right? So in the same way, when we think of Krishna, and we think to serve Krishna, then the body will engage in the service of Krishna. So this is very important for us to understand. Becoming yogi doesn't mean that you have a big dadi and one jetiya. Oh, big yogi. There was one bogus yogi. He used to have a big gathering, so many thousands of people. And while he was talking, he would go, and one Shivalinga would come out of his mouth. And people go, oh. But it was like a magical trick. And one person who does magic, he knew the trick, and he explained the trick. While this person was talking, he would drink some water. You know, I can take this, drink some water. And then he would take a cloth and wipe his face. The linga was in the cloth. So when he went like this, it went inside. And then a few moments later, trick. It's called sleight of hand. But because people are foolish, they, oh hey, Bhagavan hai, bahut bada yogi hai. Dekha, dekha. Foolish. Right? They're fooled. And like that, nowadays, many people think that, you know, in every street there's one Bhagavan. Right? But we need to hear from Krishna. Right? We need to understand from Krishna about himself. And how to understand, he's giving the way we should act. How should we act? We should act with detachment. How to be detached? By arranging our activities in such a way, whether it's with body, mind, or intelligence, and even the senses, to engage them in the service of Krishna. But how are the senses are engaged? How is the mind engaged? The mind is engaged. The mind has two businesses: sankalpa, vikalpa, accepting and rejecting. It's like a machine. Accept something, reject something. Right? So the Krishna conscious person, he's always, whatever he comes in contact, his mind is accepting or rejecting in the service of Krishna. And a non-Krishna conscious person, one who's not a yogi, he's accepting and rejecting things for sense gratification. Right? You go in the market, you go to the phal wala, he has some nice chiku. So the mind says, oh, I'd like to get that chiku. Mind says, I can enjoy that chiku. Right? Krishna conscious person goes to the market, goes to the falwala, sees the same chiku, but what does his mind say? Mind says, I can get that chiku and offer it to Krishna. This chiku, Krishna will like that chiku. Huh? You see the difference? Now, outside person, he sees that the non-Krishna conscious person is going to the market, and the Krishna conscious person is also going to the market, and they're both purchasing chiku. I said, oh, the Bhakta lok or Baddha lok, matlab materialistic people, kya fayda hai? Dono chiku lete hain. He can't see. He can't tell the difference. Right? Why? Because they don't understand the process of Krishna consciousness. They don't understand what it means to be Krishna conscious. Just like they don't understand Krishna as God. Avajananti mam mudha. They don't understand God. They think that God should be according to their imagination. But if you want to understand God, you have to take information from God Himself. Therefore He's speaking Bhagavad Gita. How people can understand Him, Krishna. In what way they should act so that they can understand Him. That's what this verse is about. The main thing is, yoga is therefore, the word here used is Shuddhaya, the purpose of purification. A real yogi is acting to become purified. Right? Purified. Right now we're in an impure state, and therefore it's hard for us to realize God. We're covered over. God is there, just like the sunshine, it's always there. The sun is there, right? And the sun is shining on everyone. The sun doesn't discriminate, right? I'll only shine on the Brahmin lok. Pigs and dogs, I won't shine. No, sun is there for everyone. But if it's cloudy, if it's a cloudy day, then you can't take benefit of the sun. Right? So in the same way, in the conditioned state, the living entity, his vision is clouded over by his attachment to the material body. The body is like a machine that we're inside of. It's not our real identity. Conditioned means that I identify with the body as myself. Right? I'm an American, I'm Russian, I'm Gujarati, I'm so many things. Right? But we're not the body. The body is the spirit, the body is covering the spirit soul. The soul is inside the body. It's described that the body is like a chariot. The body is made up of bhumir, apo, nalo, vayu, kamano, buddheva cha. Panch mahabhut, earth, water, fire, air, sky. It covers the soul. Just like the clouds cover the sun. When the clouds are covering this, and actually the clouds don't cover the sun, the clouds cover our vision. Prabhupada explains that if you go in an airplane above the clouds, so much sunshine is there. But the sun is not covered. Same way, the material energy can never cover Krishna. Krishna is the source of the material energy. Mayadhyakshena prakrite suyate sacharanam. But our vision is covered. Why? Because of our attachments. Where does it begin? Attachment to the material body. And then it expands. Right? I identify with the material body. I identify with my community. I identify with my family. Right? I identify with my country. It goes on expanding and expanding. So yoga means to become purified, to become free from this consciousness. Well, Rupa Goswami is explaining, Iha yasya hare dasya. If one engages karmana manasa gita fully in the service of the Supreme Lord, karmana is activities. It's not that you do no activities. We have a material body. The material body can be used in the service of Krishna. Right? Manasa, mind, Gita, words. So one who is completely absorbed, engaging the mind, body, and words in the service of Krishna, that's a liberated person. Doesn't matter what they look like. Doesn't matter whether they're married, whether they're not married, whether they're single, whatever their status, that doesn't matter. What matters is engaging the mind in the service of Krishna. And by engaging the mind in the service of Krishna, automatically the words will follow. Automatically the body will follow and perform activities. Anyone can immediately start yoga. Because yoga means to control the mind. Foolishly, people think yoga means you press your nose and put your leg behind your head and yoga. No. Yoga means control the mind. And again, the best way to control the mind is by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Immediately, one can start the process of yoga and very quickly make advancement in this process by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, by engaging the mind in the service of the Lord, by thinking of the Lord, by thinking of His holy name. The Lord and the Lord's name are non-different. They're one and the same. But we have so much false ego, ahankar. People think they have no time to chant the holy name. Or sometimes young people say, oh yeah, I'll chant when I get old. When I get old, I'll chant. How do you know when you'll become old? What is the definition of old? Right? The definition of old is one is about to die. That is old. But you can die anytime. You can walk out the front door, walk into the road in front of the temple, and the BST bus, finished. Can anybody say when they'll die? No. This life is like a drop of water on the lotus leaf. Anytime it can fall off. So an intelligent person knows that life, it passes like the blinking of an eye. The blinking of an eye. Very quickly life passes. And life is meant to be engaged in purification. Shuddhaye. so that we can understand, who am I? Am I something different from this body? Only the purified senses and the purified mind can understand that we're something different from the body. Otherwise, endlessly, birth after birth, life after life, stuck in the bodily concept. Only possibility to break free is by the process of devotional service. Thinking of Krishna, chanting Krishna's name, hearing about Krishna's pastimes. This will enable us to become a real yogi, which means a Krishna conscious person that is working. Krishna conscious person works, but without attachment. No attachment for the result of that work. The result goes to Krishna. Normally when people are cooking, right? They're making one soup, and they taste the soup to see if it's, got enough salt in it, or check it. But a Krishna conscious person won't do that, right? Krishna conscious person knows this soup is to be enjoyed by Krishna. So first it's offered to Krishna. Then after it's offered to Krishna and Krishna accepts it, it becomes prasadam, right? And then you can take someone who's eating that soup before it's offered to Krishna. What are they eating? It may be vegetarian, it may have no onions and no garlic, but it's still papa. Papa, we usually think of, it's only sins, sinful things. But anything, whatever it is, it may be pious, but if it's not bringing you to Krishna, it's still papa. Papena. It's pop. So how is that? It is because what doesn't bring you to Krishna, what doesn't engage your senses or mind or body in the service of Krishna, that activity is causing you to be led away from Krishna. If it brings us away from Krishna, it's papa. So the devotee of the Lord is not interested in performing pious activities, although devotional service is pious, no doubt, but he's not after accumulating pious activities or avoiding sinful activities. He's interested in serving Krishna. What Krishna wants me to do, that thing I should do. What Krishna doesn't want me to do, that thing I should not do. This is Krishna consciousness. This is the Krishna conscious person. And this is what the verse is explaining to us. In this verse number 11, the last line says, he is one with Krishna and is devoid of the false ego that leads one to believe that he is the body, etc. This is the perfect stage of Krishna consciousness. So when Srila Prabhupada mentions that one is one with Krishna, that means that the desire of the devotee and the desire of Krishna are one. Right? If a Mayavadi reads this, he'll think, oh, one with Krishna, yes. You merge with Krishna, you become Krishna. One with Krishna, no. Krishna has his identity, the living entity has his identity, They never become merged into one identity, right? And a devotee is not interested at all in losing his identity, because what is his identity? His identity is that I'm the servant of Krishna. If you lose your identity and merge, how will you serve? Won't be possible to serve. So becoming one with Krishna means that they become one in desire. The devotee is always thinking how to please Krishna. And Krishna is always thinking how to please the devotee. Right? In Vrindavan, when Krishna sees the gopis, he sees their beauty, he becomes very happy. They're beautiful, he thinks, and he becomes happy. And when Krishna becomes happy, he becomes more attractive. And the gopis, seeing that Krishna increases his attraction, they become more beautiful. Then Krishna sees their beauty's increased, and it goes back and forth. Right? The devotee is always ready. They don't want anything from Krishna, they always want to give to Krishna. Krishna should be happy. They're not considering themselves. Sometimes we may do devotional service with our own that I should get something, right? I should get some, clapping or Hari Bol. I'm doing the Maha plate. I should get. I'm cleaning the bartan. I'll get the Maha plate. Right? That's not Shuddhaya. It's not Shuddhaya. No expectations, only seva. I want to do seva. Some people say we do puja. I'm doing puja. Puja means I'm, offering my puja to Ganesh or Lord Shiva so I can get something. I'll pass the exam. I'll get good husband. I'm doing puja of Lord Shiva. I'll get good husband. Right? This is puja. We don't do puja. We do seva. No expectations, seva. Right? We want to please Krishna. We want to do something to please Krishna. That's all. If Krishna is pleased, we're pleased. That's all we need. We don't need anything else. Right? So how to do seva? That we take instruction from the devotees of the Lord, from the spiritual master. Spiritual master guides us how to do seva. Right? Not to get anything from Krishna, but to give to Krishna. When you give to Krishna selflessly, you get everything you need. Right? Some people think if I'm worshiping God, then God should give me what I want. God, Prabhupada said, is not your order supplier that you call up Dheeraj store, give me sugar, give me chini dough, atta dough, and it comes. He's not your order supplier. Huh? Is that what you think? The wrong conception. Yes, God is supplying everything to everyone. No doubt. But the devotee's mentality is, I'm the servant of Krishna. I want to give to Krishna. I want to please Krishna. Not to take from Krishna. Srila Rupa Goswami, one day, he's in Vrindavan. They live under a tree. And he was thinking, in his mind, he was thinking, if I had the ingredients, I'd like to make a nice feast for Sanatana Goswami. Nice feast. He's thinking. Then after some time, one young girl comes with so many ingredients for the cooking. You know, some rice, some atta, sabjis. Very beautiful young girl. And Rupa Goswami said, where are you from? No, my village is nearby. They were in Govardhan. My village is nearby. There's a festival in our village, and my mother said, come and bring these things. So he thought, okay, I was thinking to make a feast, so he made some sweet rice and sabji and paratha and offered it to Krishna. His deity, Madan Mohan, used to keep it in a tree, his deity. Then he called Sanatan Goswami, come. He said, this is a very nice feast you made here. Where did you get all these items? There was one girl, she came, said I could take these things. I said, what did she look like? Oh, she was very beautiful. He described how she looked. Then Sanatana Goswami said, oh, you made a big offense. You've taken service from Radharani. We're here to give service, not to take service. Huh? This is the mood of the devotee. They want to serve. They don't want to take anything from Krishna. They want to give to Krishna. And therefore, Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita so that we can understand the process for becoming purified. Hare Krishna. Now, are there any questions? Also, the persons that are watching on YouTube, if they have any questions, you can send a message on YouTube and we'll answer your question also. They'll tell me the question. Yes? Microphone? Microphone not working. Go ahead.
Nowadays, so much anxiety, so much difficulty, mind becomes so much agitated. So it is difficult to chant even 16 rounds. How we can continuously engage our mind?
His question is, so many anxieties, so many difficulties in life. We find difficulty to chant 16 rounds. So how to overcome these anxieties and difficulties so that we can be fixed and continuous in our chanting. So the important aspect for anyone in Krishna consciousness is to have proper Sangha. Sangha. Without proper Sangha, it's very difficult to actually make progress. I think the word was used here, Sangam, attachment. So Sangha means association. You know, if you have proper association, you know, there's bad attachments, there's good attachments. If you're attached to people that drink and party all night, that's not good Sangha. That's asat Sangha. And satsanga is attachment to persons that are Krishna conscious and that are trying to be Krishna conscious. So when you jump into a river, the river is flowing in one direction, and if you try to go against the current, it's very difficult, right? Even a big elephant that jumps in the water, if the current, you know, like in Mayapur, the Ganga is flowing very fast, right? So to go against the current is very difficult. If you have asat sangha and are trying to be Krishna conscious, it's like going against the current. But if you have satsanga, then you jump in, it's like jumping in the river and you're going with the current, you get carried. easily you get carried, right? Therefore, having the proper association is the key to making steady progress in devotional service. If you have the right Sangha, we should have the right Sangha. Everything you should have the right thing. Then it'll be conducive to you in Krishna consciousness, the right thing. Srila Prabhupada, a small diversion here, I'll tell a little Prabhupada story. Prabhupada was living in John Lennon's estate. John Lennon, rock star, he had a big, huge estate. He let the devotees live there. The devotees called Srila Prabhupada. So Prabhupada was living there. And the estate, when he bought it, there was one old Mali, who was taking care of the grounds, a gardener. And while Prabhupada was staying there, he made friends with him. He's about the same age as Srila Prabhupada. So they were talking one day. And the gardener, Prabhupada asked the gardener, he said, "Do you have all your teeth?" And the gardener said, no, I don't have all my teeth. And Prabhupada said, "Well, I have all my teeth." And the gardener said, "Well, I ate too many sweets." And Prabhupada said, "Well, I also eat sweets, but I eat the right kind of sweets." So we always have to do the right kind of things. We need the right Sangha. We need the right foodstuffs, prasadam. We need the right entertainment. People are looking for entertainment, right? They want to be entertained. But you have to have the right entertainment. What's the best entertainment? You know, people go out and they dance. The entertainment, right? But in order for them to get in the mood of dancing, they have to drink one peg, 2 shots of whiskey, then they can dance. But just see, come to the 7 o'clock arti, how the devotees are dancing, right? Just like madmen, they're dancing. Kurtas all soaking wet, right? They're enjoying, right? Entertainment, spiritual entertainment. This is what's required. Then, even though there'll be anxiety, even there'll be so many difficulties, you won't go away from Krishna. You won't give up your connection to Krishna. And in this age, that connection is established by chanting the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Any other questions? Yes?
In the class you have mentioned about prasadam.
Okay. So now it's time for prasadam or something?
I have a question that Karmis, they want some prasadam, or like they want something to eat, they prepare it and
Huh.
and devotees, like neophytes, if they want that they prepare it, and since they have been asked by spiritual master to offer it to Krishna, they offer it and then they honor it. So they are also preparing ultimately for their successor. They don't have a logic for Krishna. They want, hence they are being asked to offer to Krishna, so hence they are offering. So what is the difference between Karmi and this person?
Well, it's like the difference between sadhana bhakti and spontaneous devotional service. Sadhana bhakti means, although you're preparing for Krishna because you've been told to do this, so that's sadhana bhakti. In sadhana bhakti, gradually, if you perform that, as you've been guided by the spiritual master, under the order of the spiritual master, it does become prasadam, and you do get purified. You become yogina. You act for purification. You're acting for purification. But then above that is that you're also cooking, but you know that Krishna, I'm cooking for Krishna. No concept that I'm cooking for myself. I'm only cooking for Krishna. Should eat this. I hope that Krishna eats this. I hope that Krishna enjoys this. That's the mentality. Not that I hope I can eat this after it's offered. That's all right. But higher than that, more advanced, is I'm making this so Krishna will be happy. Krishna will enjoy this. It's a subtle difference, but there is a difference. It's a difference in mentality. Gradually, we'll come to that by practice and good association. Okay? Any questions? Yes?
The kind of faith you have in Krishna, I want that faith in me also. How should I do that?
See, I have no faith in Krishna, but my spiritual master has great faith in Krishna. And he's written many books. If whatever little faith I have came from reading his books. So similarly, if you read his books, you'll also develop faith in Krishna. You'll see Krishna as the important thing in your life. And other things will become less important. Okay? All right, thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavat Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanandi.